end dimension is sickening. I literally have no clue how it got this bad, but today we're gonna transform it into the entire universe. Okay, you're probably wondering what the plan is. So first, I want to remove all 40,000 obsidian by hand. Then I'd like to remove the entire end island by using TNT bombing machines. After that, I plan on collecting over 400,000 blocks to build a massive pixel art of the entire Milky Way galaxy. This is not going to be easy. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. First of all, if we're gonna be in the end for who knows how long, Endermen are definitely going to be an issue. If I just get some pumpkins and then carve them out. Okay, I forgot that it's impossible to see. I just downloaded a texture pack that should fix it all. Yep, that looks pretty good. Now, if this entire island is going to go, I'm gonna need some haste to mine it faster. I just realized that once this island is gone, I will never be able to respawn the Ender Dragon again. We should probably collect as much Dragon's Breath as possible because it's gonna become impossible after this project. So then I need some End Crystals. Next, a bunch of bottles for Dragon's Breath, then some redstone stuff. I'd like to collect something called an Immortal Crystal. Time to respawn the dragon. Well, this is one of the last times we'll ever see this. The dragon just launched its fire. Here, bottles. I'd like to get a full shulker of Dragon's Breath, so we might be here for a while. Oh my gosh, this is so much better. That is almost enough. Wait, no. That almost killed me. Okay, no, we are killing the dragon now. Now that we evolved the Dragon's Breath, we should get the Immortal Crystals. Basically, when the Ender Dragon is respawning, if you use pistons to push these crystals, then they become immortal and keep the laser beams. We're gonna be using this simple flying machine to push the crystals. Why is that not working? That's better. Now, the entire machine needs to be built. So then, if I just place the crystals again and respawn it, let's quickly run over here and flick this lever. Is it working? Nice, great, it is moving the first crystal. Now before the dragon respawns, bow that, and boom, we got the first crystal, and look at this. If I punch it, it will never explode, and it's just gonna stay there forever. I would now like to get 3 more of these. Okay then, that is everything I wanted from the dragon, so I guess we can move on to the second part, which is removing all of the obsidian. Oh man, this is going to be a grind. I just did a couple of layers and want to try another tactic. If we sit here and mine straight down, then I can just hold my auto clicker. I'm a little afraid to try this because it's definitely more risky. If I forget about the mining, then I could fall right into the void. I spent about 4.5 hours mining this pillar, and now we are on the final row. The final block. Oh man, that was definitely a little bit scary. But after mining one of the 10 pillars, I collected about 9,000 obsidian. I think it would be best to save it, honestly, because we'll probably use it later. The second pillar done, third done, 4th done. This is interesting. I didn't finish mining all of the pillars, but that's because I actually want to begin removing the island at the same time. So when I mine the final pillars, everything disappears at once. So first of all, that means we're going to need to get rid of all of the bedrock around the island. There's a little trick I saw. If we place some blocks and then light this up, perfect, it still works. So then we need to repeat this. Now, getting underneath this portal is going to be a little more tricky. This setup should be able to break the bottom pieces of bedrock. Oh, so I went through the portal. Attempt 2. Yes, that actually worked. Then all of these need to go. And that should be it for the center end portal. That means we can move on to the removal of the end island. And for this, we're going to use TNT bombing machines, which require a bunch of redstone. Slime, redstone blocks, pistons, glass, minecarts, and TNT. Let's go ahead and build the machine. If I break this redstone block, it should all start up. So when we're finishing everything else up on the island, it's gonna slowly start to remove all of this endstone. Wait, I just realized when the machine passes over these portals, won't the TNT explode back into the machine? I might have a solution. If we place some water on top of these portals. Okay, now what about all the water on the ground? Now the TNT will go into the water and not explode the machine. This has got to be repeated 19 more times. And done. That's the portal part finished. Now these machines are starting to get close, so let's get rid of the final pillars. Here is the 9th pillar done. And finally the 10th pillar. This is the last block of obsidian. Unbelievable. I am so glad to be done. Look at my statistics now. Over 80,000 total mined obsidian. That means there was over 40,000 obsidian in all of the pillars combined. This is really great as well. The machines have already cleared most of the island away. However, when it's finishing up, I want to try to remove all of the bedrock around these gateways. It only took the machines a couple of hours to remove most of the island. Now I think it's time to get rid of this Enderman farm. Honestly, mining this is going to take ages because for some reason I decided to use iron to build it. How much TNT do we have left? That should be enough for now. I think we should just fill this place to the brim. How did that even happen? I literally could have died there. I'm going to be much more careful next time. Let's just light this up. Amazing! Now the Enderman farm is entirely gone. I think I'll just AFK the rest of this and I'll let you know once it's all finished. The machine has gotten to the final couple of rounds and look at all of the Endermen. I guess they have nowhere else to live. I'm gonna just remove the final couple of blocks by hand. This is the last block of the entire end island. I definitely want to save that for the future museum we're gonna build. The entire island is gone. That took over 30 hours to remove. If you remember before, the island looked like this, but now with everything gone, it's time to build the universe below it. Now the tricky thing about this universe is that it has over 390,000 total blocks, some of which, like this 24,000 coal or 67,000 black wool, are gonna be insanely difficult to collect. Kinda wanna be lazy and start on the easy items. So, rooted dirt, polished granite, cyan terracotta, woods, calcite, mushroom blocks, quartz, strangely note blocks and jute boxes, iron, more terracotta. These next two are gonna be kinda tricky. I'm gonna need 596 tough blocks and 740 clay. As long as we go into a portal with the 1.18 generation, it should be easy enough to find a lush cave where both of these blocks will be. Yes, this is just what I needed. Now we need to get some more terracotta, polished deep slate, stone bricks, and cobble. This is gonna be a pain. I need to collect 985 dead coral blocks. This coral reef might not be large enough, but let's try to see how many we can get here. I literally mined every yellow coral block here. Let's hope there are enough of them here. And now these just need to become dried. This should be satisfying. Let me just pick these up again and we can move on. Next up, I need 1,042 acacia wood blocks. How many saplings do we have? Yeah, this should work. Let's get some bones and... Now these gotta be chopped. Okay, that's enough. These next ones shouldn't be too difficult. More deep slate, smooth basalt, chiseled deep slate, andesite, deep slate bricks, gray wool, light gray wool, warped stems, cracked stone bricks, smooth stone, and coal ore. As much as we've already collected, this isn't even a tenth of all of the required blocks. I next need 3,323 obsidian. Do you think we have enough obsidian? Probably not. Gosh, 3,400 polished basalt. I guess it's time to run the basalt farm again. I literally left the room for 5 minutes to make some food when this happened. No, I just came back and saw it break. I was starting to experience boredom from collecting the thousands of items, but at least it was time to take a break and build a few farms. I need an absolutely stupendous amount of black wool, 67,472 to be exact. I don't think this sheep farm is gonna be fast enough. I might have a solution though. There's a really fast farm designed by Ilmingo that should make over 20,000 wool per hour once it's done. The issue is that to make this farm, we are going to need to collect another massive list of items. This should be all of the required redstone. Now we're gonna need over 1,200 glass for this farm. I think the best way to get this will be to trade with villagers for it. Okay, now 1,400 white concrete, 1,520 powered rails. I built this farm over here that makes an absolutely insane amount of rails. I was not kidding when I said insane. Finally, to finish up this farm, we're gonna need 4,962 grass blocks. Okay, we are ready to build the farm. Oh, wait a minute. I literally forgot the most important part. Sheep. This farm I want to build is going to include 512 sheep. That sounds insane, but I really don't know any other way to get that much wool. Will the baby also have black wool? Okay, that's good. I just realized this is going to require a huge amount of wheat. Okay then, it's time to build the farm. I want to make sure to breed the sheep every 5 minutes to make sure they're enough. Isn't this how another hardcore YouTuber lost his world? This block should finish the farm. Now we just need to get the sheep in. Okay, how can this be done 512 times as easily as possible? Come here, sheep. Okay, good. Rails? Yes, okay, get in. No, yes. Time for the second sheep. This is taking way too long. I have a better idea. What if we use these rails here to create a loop, and if we use this activator rail to bump the sheep off, then they should fall right into their pen. Here comes the next sheep. Okay, yes, get in. Yes, great, perfect, nice. This is working really well. I suppose it still needs to be repeated 500 more times. That is the entire first row done. It did take about an hour. This is insane how many shears need to go into this system. This farm made like 10,000 wool in just the time it took to build it. I'm thinking that because of this, I should only put half of the sheep into the farm to save time. I'm gonna just AFK overnight and hopefully in the morning there should be enough wool stored up. It was a successful AFK session, everyone. There is way more than enough wool in here. So let's move on to the next item. We need about 27,000 blackstone. There are two main methods of collecting blackstone. Method one, we mine it. In small quantities, I think that's better. But for such a huge amount, I think option two, bartering with piglins, will be much better. I have just the farm to make. This farm is by ENX04. I'll just have to AFK up here for a little while and wait for 256 piglins to spawn down below. Let me just get a bunch of gold while I'm here. Now let's check on the farm. Oh my gosh, that's loud. Okay, I don't quite know how this works, but I think if I throw the gold in there... Wow, that's a lot of items. Then I'm pretty sure we just need to load the items into the shulkers and repeat until there's enough blackstone. Oh my gosh, this is becoming a very risky episode. And it's been a few hours, but this should be all of the blackstone needed. There are only 2 more items required. The first is 21,000 black concrete. Fortunately, from the last project, I already have more than enough black concrete powder, so let's just convert it. And that should be all the concrete we need. Now for the easiest part of collecting, 195,741 black stained glass. That was sarcasm. I literally have no clue where to even begin. I spent a few hours researching, and I know what we're gonna do. I want to build the ultimate sand farm, and then we're gonna cook all of it. The sand farm is gonna produce 144,000 per hour. But once again, it requires a massive list of items to build. Yeah, more redstone stuff, concrete, slime, you've seen this before, let's just build it. Perfect, the farm should work. The farm did not work. I fixed it. Now if we jump through the end portal, yes, it works. Oh wait, I need a way to collect all of the blocks. Now as we wait for the sand to be made, let's actually take a trip to the Wither Rose farm. We're gonna need a ton of black dye to stain all of the glass. So... and that should be enough of everything. Now all of this sand needs to be cooked into glass. Finally, all of this needs to be crafted into black stained glass. This is it. I have collected 400,000 different items. This took days to get everything. Now, all that has to be done is to build the entire galaxy. Now that we're in the end, I'd like to first make a platform to store all of our shulker boxes. I suppose it's time to begin. We need some blocks here, more here, some here. And after several hours of placing blocks, I was done with day 1 of building the galaxy. It's the next day, and I came up with a strategy that if we first do the outside blocks and move to the inside, it might be faster. Honestly, this isn't too bad, it's just taking a long time. It's day 3 of building, and I think we're gonna finish today. I mean, this is seriously coming along. I cannot wait to see the end result. These are the final couple of blocks. I wish I could celebrate, but before I get too tired, all of the glass needs to go on top of the entire thing to keep the Enderman from spawning. So... halfway done. That took about 4 hours to do that much. So just another 4 and this entire project should be finished. I cannot believe all of my work is almost done. Only a few more blocks. And the entire galaxy, 400,000 blocks. It's so huge you can literally see the outer islands from here. I have a plan to put a massive ship up there somewhere, and mark my words, it will be the coolest thing you have ever seen. But that's for next time. If you'd like to see that, please consider subscribing and clicking the notification icon so you make sure you don't miss out. It'd be kind of funny if I just respawn the Ender Dragon, which would respawn the obsidian pillars and destroy all of my work.
The end. The only dimension I haven't blown up or even made something useful in. That changes today, because in this video, I'm going to construct the biggest end base in survival Minecraft. This took me so many hours, so if you haven't yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button to see more content like this in the future. Anyways, I guess I can begin the video. This all started around a year ago. I was planning a mega base that was going to be for a survival SMP that I wanted to get into. Yeah, I got rejected. And since then, this unfinished masterpiece has been sitting in my saves folder building up dust. That was until I saw a couple comments about an end base. I think I have an idea. It needs some fixing up, but I think it'll work. All I need to do is slide the end island under it. That's the roundest end island I've ever seen. Add an end aquarium in the middle because every end base needs one. It's just a fish tank. And finally add some fancy pillars around the build. But before I figure out any of that, I need to clean up this island. Ugh, yuck. That's much better. Now, I said that I wanted to keep the end island, but I can't keep it like this because it looks like Antarctica. Some terraforming will hopefully make this island look a little more round. All I need is around 5 shulkers of endstone, so I think I'm just gonna go start flattening the top of the end island. Yeah, that's definitely not enough. I'm gonna go find some more endstone. Now I got some mining to do. Whatever. I'm just gonna head back. I got enough endstone now. I think I'm just gonna start terraforming. That looks so much better. As you can see, I left this space in the middle for the end aquarium. It's gonna be a large glass cylinder with an open middle. Yeah, I'm gonna need some glass, which means I need sand. There we go. And there we go. I'm just gonna let that cook up for a bit. Every good aquarium also needs coral, like a lot. So while this is cooking up, I'm gonna gather some coral. There's this warm ocean west of here that should have all the coral I need. Oh my. And here we are. Yeah, I'll just get a bit of everything. Coral. I just got all the coral, meaning that I only have a couple more materials to get. I'll be right back. That should make a good aquarium, I hope. I'm gonna start with the walls. Here's an aquarium. It has sand, it has rocks, but it's missing water. I have an idea, but I'm gonna need some stone. Dude, this better smell while I'm gone. The idea is to put all the water over the stone and then remove it. And there we go. It's full of water. Wait a minute. Now it's full of water. Now I notice this water is looking kind of plain. I think I need some life to spice it up. Yeah, that's why I got the coral. Yeah. Now I don't want to be a maniac who just has a bowl of water with plants. I need fish. Ha! Yoink. I have no idea how many fish I need. I'll just gather all of them. No! That's a lot of fish. Though if I want them to last more than 30 seconds, I'm gonna need to name them. Got any name tags for me, buddy? Bruh. Now I need to think of 200 different names for all the fish. I'm kidding. Sushi, Jeremiah, and get balloon stage to 100k. Perfect names for a fish. Now all I should need to do is go to the end and let all the fish into their new home. No, I mean prison. Yeah, you guys have fun suffering in here. I think I'm just gonna go. Aquarium is done. Oh man, we're just getting started. Now the block palette for this build is gonna be black, white, and purple with a lot of stone. Speaking of stone. Oh. I hate this game! I don't have time for the smelter to keep breaking. Wait, I could just build another super smelter. I need almost 70 shulkers of smooth stone, so hopefully these two super smelters will speed stuff up a bit. And while that's running, I'm just gonna go gather some other materials. Our main light source is gonna be sea lanterns, so I think I'll just start out with that. Oh, I don't have any. I wonder how I can solve this problem. That's much better. Now, sea lanterns really suck to craft, so I'm gonna use a little secret up my sleeve. This here is an auto crafter. All you do is chuck all your materials in, and the machine will hand you all the materials in the right intervals so you can craft it. That was really easy. If you want to make one of these for yourself, you can go check it out on Ilmango's channel. Now, all the rest of the blocks should be pretty easy to gather, so I think I'll go do that. That's gonna be all the materials for the base. But what about Endermen? No. Yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that. Okay, Endermen are bad. We don't want them. I need to remove them from the end. And the only easy way to do this is with a mob switch. The basic concept is to max out the mob cap with certain mobs that can't despawn. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I have a few options. I could use any boss, that being Withers, Elder Guardians, or Ender Dragons. Yeah, Ender Dragons and Elder Guardians are out of the equation because there's no way I'm gathering 200 of them. Oh yeah, did I mention, I have several players on this server, so I'm gonna need to account for several players worth of enemies for the mob switch. Okay, so Withers are an option. There are also 2 other options that could work too. Shulkers and Zombie Villagers. I know Shulkers are already in the end, but they just suck. And Withers are way too loud and fun to use. Villagers. Are you serious? Well, it's my only option. Here I am above the end portal. All I should need to do is get 200 Fletchers in the end. Simple. Well, the first thing I need is a villager breeder. Now I need 2 villagers. We get in. Now you guys go make me a lot of babies. I'll see you in a couple days. And after a couple days of playing Goat Simulator, we have around 200 villagers. The next thing I need to do is convert them all into Fletchers and then chuck them all into the end. Before I do that, I need a water stream in the end to direct the villagers to their new home. It's kind of scuffed, but I think it'll work. All it should do is bring them to this small room over here. And now I need to do it in the overworld. Well, all I need to do is make a whole lot of Fletchers. Yeah, you guys are gonna be good villagers. Right? I already messed it up. Yeah, I'll be back when I'm done with these villagers. I don't have sticks. Where are you going? No, stop! I don't have any sticks! That was rough, but I think I got them all. Now, this is the fun part. I need a zombie. Hey, buddy. Follow me. Trust me, you're gonna want to. I got a little snack for you. Go in the hole! Okay. Come on, go in. There we go. Now, you don't get to see this every day. Yeah, they were not good villagers, so they definitely deserve this. Now, they all should be zombie villagers, meaning that if I fly up, all the Endermen are gone. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Now I need to clean up this mess. Enderman switch is done. Now that should actually be everything. I think I can start building now. I'm just gonna start with the bottom and work my way up. Here's the top platform finished with the rails to the top. I have a feeling this is going to take way longer than the bottom, because it has a lot larger variation of blocks. Well, let the building commence. That looks so freaking cool. Unfortunately, I was right. It did take a lot longer to build. I'm not quite done building, though. I feel like it needs some plantation, some life. I'm going to make some end-themed mushrooms on top of some of the towers. All the mushrooms need mushroom stems. But what about some amethyst? I'm going to regret this, aren't I? Really, the only way to get mushroom stems is to mine them by hand, and I don't really want to make a mushroom farm. Wait, maybe I don't need to. I really don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I can't say it was worth it, but I got all the mushroom stems I need. Now, amethyst. That's where the real problem comes in. Wait, didn't I just do a quarry? Yeah, that's not enough. I also need around 15 stacks of buds. I could just let more grow. That should be all the amethysts I need. I'm just gonna head back to the end and see what I can come up with. Oh, I think that brought it all together. Now I need to do the interior because Dak just told me I needed to. Here I can have a lab, need some living quarters, a meeting room, maybe some illegal drug. I mean plants. And of course, all the end bases need some sort of massive rocket. Yeah, that's why I have this massive door. I'm gonna need to hook up the door somehow. I'll worry about that later. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish the end base. And it is all finished, you guys. All 500,000 blocks of it. This took so long to make, and I'm so glad it's done. Now let's go take a look on the inside. As you can see, I got my shaders on here, because this thing looks sick with shaders. Yeah, we got the rocket there. We got our lab over there. Just a little storage over there. This should have plants in it, but I haven't put any in. Meeting room. And then the door. I'm going to show you how that door works. So we got a little button here. If we press it, it should open up pretty smoothly. Now, if you guys do end up enjoying my videos, make sure to subscribe. Maybe join my Discord server. They only talk about my mods there anyways. And maybe leave a like. Comment down below what you want me to make next. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
The Minecraft end has barely changed over the last 12 years and it needs a big update. So I spent an entire month completely transforming the end dimension with custom new biomes and so much more. This is the story of my craziest build ever. The build that almost made me quit this world and might have even killed me. Transforming the end is a project I've wanted to do in this Minecraft hardcore world for months, and I think we're finally at a point where I can take on a project this big. But my plan for building this end update is going to be by starting with a center portal, then going around the entire end island adding tons of new biomes, which I think is going to look so cool. First thing I did was dig out a huge hole underneath the portal. This was because I had a plan to use the glass fog effect we've seen before in our world, which I think would look really cool alongside this portal. The problem is, that requires a lot of glass. And mining sand for hours doesn't really sound too fun. So I think I'm going to try something I've never done before. I'm going to try to build a sand farm if I can get through this portal. And this farm is going to help me create sand and concrete powder, both of which I'm going to be using a lot in this build. I'm back at the storage room to grab all the resources for it. The farm is designed by RaiseWorks, and I'm following a tutorial by Shulkercraft. And this thing actually works really well for how little materials it's going to require. Alright, let's take all our materials, take this over to the stronghold, and get working on this farm. In order to get this farm to work, we need to remove part of the portal frame, which I'm okay with because I plan on transforming this whole area later on and removing this farm. We can go over here, place down a piece of dirt right there, I think. And then if we bone meal this, it should. Yep, there we go. It just completely deleted part of this end portal frame, which is kind of crazy. Now we can go ahead and do that one more time. And now we should have this extremely cursed portal. But this is the setup for our farm. This farm works by pushing sand and other blocks like it through the portal, which somehow multiplies it and allows us to get a ton of sand. I ran it for a little bit and we got quite a bit of different materials. I've started loading them up into these shulker boxes. We're back at our base with all that sand, but there's still one more problem. We need to smelt all of that sand. So I think I'm going to build a real simple super smelter. I've got these super smelters worked out, and all 8 of these hoppers will take from the chest boat. While this is all smelting, I need to go out and collect a ton of dye for all this glass. And I could build a flower farm, but for some reason, I just feel like we've built enough farms today. I just kind of want to go out in my world and collect the flowers myself. Collecting all that dye by hand was actually a lot of fun, although I'm probably gonna have to bone meal more. This probably won't be enough, but at least it'll be a good start. And for this fog trick, we're gonna start by covering the entire bottom layer here with a light source. We're gonna use these frog lights. Now we're gonna take on the extremely long task of going layer by layer, skipping 1 block each time, placing glass. That's gonna create a nice fog effect, but it takes a lot of time and a whole lot of glass. That turned out pretty cool, and it looks kind of familiar. Anyways, I still need to add a bunch more details of this portal to call it complete. First, I think we need to attach it to the ground. I want to build sort of a pedestal out of deep slate to try to connect it into the fog. Let's go ahead and attach this down. I think we'll have to go a few blocks into here, so it looks like it just fades off. Yep, that pretty much looks infinite. Alright, next up, I also want to replace all of these walls with deep slate, which means we're going to have to dig down quite a few blocks, not all the way to the bottom, because it'll fade out eventually, but far enough where it looks like the deep slate goes on forever. That made a huge difference, but I have one idea to make it even better. We're gonna add a border here. I think this portal transformation turned out really, really well. And now I want to get started on one of the hardest parts, probably the hardest parts of this entire build, which is going to be building up all of the different biomes. I have a few ideas for biomes, but the main one I have inspiration for right now is this purple biome that we'll get to in a second. I want to figure out how we're going to divide the biomes exactly, and I'm going to use that by carving a bunch of rivers going off in each direction to help separate the areas of this island. This river took a surprisingly long amount of time to make, and before I build the next one, I'm actually going to work on our first biome, which is going to go in this area here in front of the river. What we're going to put in here is, oh, actually, I can just show you. If we head over here, I'm going to show you a design I worked on in my creative test world. Here's the general design I had worked out for this biome. And I'm definitely going to change it up a lot since I built this, but I still feel like this is a good base level. We're going to have some purple concrete powder, and then these sort of mushroom fungi things up here. And we're trying to add details like amethyst, blackstone. I think this could turn out really, really cool. Anyways, back to the hardcore world. Before we can even start building stuff like that, I want to work on terraforming the area because it's kind of weirdly shaped terrain right now. I want to add some hills, flatten some areas out, and just make it an overall better area to work with. So let's do that right now. See what I mean? This area is so much easier to work with now, which means we can get into my biggest time lapse ever, a literal week-long time lapse, and finish this first biome. So the biome's done. It took a really long time, but after I built it, I kind of realized my Enderman farm kind of looks bad compared to it. So I'm going to update it right now, make it look a little bit nicer. Here's what almost a week's worth of tree building looks like. I think all these mushrooms turned out great. And I think we've created a really immersive biome here. Just going to the middle of this thing, all the different mushroom fungus things. And I think it looks great, but it looks even better with shaders. Just look at this. It takes it to a whole nother level with these shaders on. I think it's about time to move on to the second section of this huge transformation. The next biome I want to work on is, oh no, I don't have a pumpkin on. I gotta stay in the air. The next area I want to work on is this area here. And I want to do something way different from this biome. I'm going to try to use some more darker blocks, basalt and deep slate, and maybe have some stuff like glowstone on top to add some color. I have a really good idea for a biome, but it requires, like I said, a lot of basalt. Thankfully, we can farm that. A basalt farm functions pretty much like a cobblestone generator, except it has to be built in the nether. And what better place to build it than up here, above our Hogland farm. So while we're mining the basalt, we're also producing food. It's a win-win. However, I have a feeling this might be build height up here. Actually, 3 blocks. Will that be enough? We might have to move down the platform a few blocks. Got the beacon here, super easy basalt farm here, and it should just work just like this. And we should get way too much basalt in like 2 minutes. This next part here I didn't even think would be part of the video. I noticed my Hogland farm wasn't working too well, and I realized there was a bastion straight under it, so I decided to go down there and clear it out. Little did I know, I might just have ended my entire series. Looks like a bunch of them are down here, so hopefully be able to kill them from here. I know these things could very well take me out in like 2 or 3 hits. This is not a good spot. Oh no. My totem's gonna pop here, which is gonna give me fire. It's gonna give me fire resistance. I have to swim down until the hog can hit me again. I gotta eat my food. And I've gotta get my way out of the bastion before my fire resistance. All right, we've got 36 seconds of fire resistant. Oh no, I don't have it. I don't have it. Swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up. Go, go, go. Please, 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 please. And at that moment, I was sure I was about to lose this entire world forever, and everything we had ever worked for would be completely gone. Before this, I never even considered what might happen if I died in this world, what would be next for me. But I knew I had to try and see if somehow the few seconds of spawn protection could maybe get me out of all those hoglands. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. Oh my god. Oh my god. No way. No way. And somehow I actually survived. And now I was more motivated than ever to get back to working on our project and to never go to the nether dimension again. And more ready than ever, I decided to take on our second biome, which I started by placing all of the basalt and some deep slate that I collected as well onto a giant area of the end. Like I said before, this biome is much darker than the other one, so I think it's going to contrast really nicely. All the basalt and deep slate I collected just nearly finished just placing it on the ground, but we still have a lot more to gather if we want to make stuff like hills and cliffs and mountains and stuff like that. I feel like changing up the terrain like this really made a big improvement to this area. And now, I've just got one more big thing to do. The second thing I want to do in this biome is add a bunch of these glowstone things. And here's the new biome. It's looking really good, especially with these shaders on. As you can see, I went through and added a lot of more details other than these glowstone tree things, like skeletons and blackstone all around, just to add as much detail to this as possible and to make This is the most time-consuming thing of my life. But now I want to turn my attention to the center of the end. I want to turn this into more of an arena. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to add another circle just like this one to the outside around the end pillars. Then we're going to flatten it out and add a bunch of new blocks. I think it'll help it feel more like a boss fight rather than just random pillars in the middle of a random island. I think it'll turn out pretty cool. Now this area feels much more like an arena, much more like a boss fight than it did before, and I am super happy with how this turned out. I tried to make this a little bit more detailed by adding some pillars and some ruined like little potholes in the ground, but I'm probably a little bit too scared to try to fight the Ender Dragon in this thing. I feel like it might end up destroying half of the biome. But if I want to make some major progress on this build, I'm going to need to work on this front section over here. And for this next section, I want to make more of a water area like this, with a bunch of winding rivers going off the edge of the end, right over here. And I actually think I know the perfect block for this area. Let's head back to the overworld. And wow, it feels good to see the sun again. It sure has been a while. Let's actually see if I have some of the block already. I want to build with warped fungi. We do have a lot of it already. This warp block. I want to build with some of this, as well as some of the warped nylium, just like this. These work pretty well in the end with the other biomes we already have. And so I began our third biome by adding 3 or 4 rivers into this area, really making this biome unique from the other two. I have all the different rivers laid out here, so our next step is going to be flying down here and placing down all of our warped stuff. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch of this and do that right now. Here's what our third biome is looking like so far. I really like it. I think all these rivers going through it, as well as all the little blue details around here, really makes this area come to life. I still feel like it's missing something, and I couldn't figure that out until I had an idea. We should add Skulk. This is much better. That Skulk added just a little bit of detail this biome needed. And believe it or not, I think that marks this project complete. Of course, there's a little bit more at the end we still could transform, but I've done over a month of work, and I think it's time to release this video for you guys to enjoy. So, thanks for watching, and please subscribe for all the work I put in for this. Thank you guys so much for all the support we had last year, and let's make 2023 even better. See you guys next time.
This is the shulker farm that I'm currently using, producing a little under 200 shells per hour. Yeah, I need more shulker shells. This farm produces over 100,000 shulker shells per hour. That's like 500 of these farms in one. Now, this project has been going on for a little while now. It got banned